Welcome, welcome everybody. Well, let's hope this all works out tonight. I have got some issues going on with my laptop right now um, and my mouse, so I'm kind of a bit uncertain how we're going to go tonight. But anyway, tech issues, what can I say? Electronics and, technology and I don't fit in the same sentence. I can tell you that. So, hi, JC. Welcome to my live. Let me know where you're coming in from. I would love to know where you are. So tonight, an interesting coffee topic. I think I need a coffee. Are you still trading time for money? And it's just a matter of making that happen. So, um, you've got to have an open mind. Hi, Queen. Hi, Fresh. And Alexandra, welcome. So, yeah, we have to have an open mind. We have to look and, see what's available for us because, hi, Bo, welcome. I think it's super important that, for me, and I was just saying I've got these tech issues going on tonight, so hopefully everything will still keep working tonight because I have no idea. So this is really interesting. Hi, Sam, welcome. So, it wasn't all that long ago. And when I think about it, it's really just over a year ago that I really was struggling with, my financial side of things and definitely, looking at wanting to improve where I was up to and what I was doing. And, I had some income streams and, suddenly one of those income streams more or less probably 75% disappeared on me. And, that's really stressful because, I was at retirement age, I wasn't working in a job. But I needed to really look at what was my life going to look like, And so, it was really interesting to see that. Hi, Camille. What happens to life and why we're put in certain positions. And I think a big part of that is that we have a certain amount of what we can absorb and a certain amount of learning to do in our lives. And, it doesn't matter where you are or, what level you're at, there's still more to learn. And so I was going through this bit of a hardship and, looking at some options, and I'd more or less given away my coaching business, which is all about law of attraction, funnily enough, right? And I ended up in that position. So I probably took a little bit for granted in that other income stream, and I thought it would just keep going. So, hey, Daryl, welcome. Good to have you here. So, for me, it was really about I needed to find something. I needed to keep my options open. And I started thinking more about my law of attraction. And so I started to implement more of that back into my life. And, I started opening up to what was possible. And, it was a few months down the track and I still hadn't found something that really really made me think this is it. Like, this is really something I want. I want to take a serious look at. Hi, Corinne, welcome. Hi, Wamba. And so for me, still looking and, I wanted something that wasn't going to take all my time. I wanted something. Hi, Juanita. Hi, Priv, Lily, welcome. I wanted something that wasn't going to take a lot of my time. I wanted something that, hey, Ricky, hey, Kays, welcome, Kobe. And so for me, having an open mind and allowing, the higher, yep, you got it, AI, you got it. So, I had to really think about where I was going and what I wanted. And so I had to really dig deep into, well, what are my options? And I know there's always online businesses around there and happening. And, people were always asking me to join them and stuff, but it just didn't feel right. And so for me, I suddenly got put in front of a blueprint that what really caught my eye was the fact that I didn't have to have tech skills, and clearly I don't, because I don't know what's going on with my laptop right now. Hi, Sarah. And not only that, I didn't have to have tech skills. I didn't need to work 15 hours a day to get the business up and running. I didn't have to develop any products or store any inventory. Welcome, Tilly B. Welcome, Yvonne. So I didn't have to do any of that, which is like a relief, because in so many old multi-level marketing or network marketing or affiliate marketing businesses, there's things that you have to do. Like you either have to store products, you have to worry about inventory in some way, shape or form, develop the products, which I didn't want to do. Welcome, Paige. Hi, Huda. Welcome. So when this fell in front of me, I was at a point of desperation, really, like seriously at a point of desperation. And I knew that if I didn't do something soon, or if I didn't find something soon, then I didn't know if I'd have a roof over my head, basically. So, hi, Arton, welcome, and Eli, Seabrow. So when this fell in front of me, I still had to really let it sit for a bit. I needed to feel whether it was really right for me. And when I did, hi, Pi, is it? I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I've said that right. So when I did sit with it, it kept coming up that it felt right. And what else really was great about that for me was I didn't have to annoy my friends and family. Like I'd been in so many network marketing things that I just almost exhausted all my network, with new things that I was doing and, coming up with. And it was so refreshing to know I didn't have to annoy them. Hi, Scully. Hi, Galactic. Welcome. So, it was such a relief and so refreshing to know that I didn't need to look at, annoying everybody. I could just do this through attraction marketing. Hi, Larry. Welcome. Hi, Yara. And so, being absolutely exhausted from the worry of not being able to, or not having any, future, looking at, financially where I was going to be. Hi, Kaylin. It was really frustrating. So when I made the decision, I knew that I had to commit to, learning some new stuff, because in the digital space, I'd knocked it back so many times. Hi, baby Japanese. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. So, I knew nothing about the digital marketing space. In fact, I'd said no to digital marketing so many times because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know. I thought I had to create my own website. I thought I had to create my own products. And you know what? It was one of those things where when you don't understand something, you usually resist. And so my resistance had been there previously, but for this, something just landed with that. And hi, Sadie. Hi, KD. Welcome. And so, what I did was I said yes, and it was a real leap of faith, but a bit of a trust that I felt as well. So, it's one of those things that you just, when you know, and when you tap into that law of attraction skills, I felt like, yeah, that's right, just sing it. Exactly. It was just one of those things that it just felt right. So what I did was I said yes, and then I knew everything came through in an email. All I had to do was put my personal information into that website, and there was a video that showed me that step by step. Go here, click here, pause the video, go here, click here. Like, it was really that simple. So so it was one of those things that just, hi Heidi, welcome, thanks for joining me. It was so simple for somebody who has absolutely zero tech skills. It just felt pretty good. So hi 42 Lenka, welcome. And so, I started looking at it, and automatically I had 4 different streams of income, which, considering that when one of my streams of income that actually had, about 6 or 7 at the time, had, I'd lost them. Oh, welcome back, Yasna. Thank you so much for being here again. You must be one of my top viewers, you and Mr. Japanese. So thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. So, it really just was one of those things that, one lot of income streams that I'd lost about 75% on was 7 different streams of income. And I got this one, and this was 4 streams of income. So it really just landed really well for me, that it was really one of those things that was just picking up the shortfall. So, well, I don't mind. We'll just get rid of you then, because you're not being very nice. I know. Thank you for your support, Yasna. I really do appreciate it. Hi, King. Welcome. So, it really just started picking up the shortfall. Yeah, they are so rude. I muted them so they won't be able to comment again. So anyway, it just made a difference to my life, because like I said, I was in a position where I was really in fear of what our next move was. Our savings had gone down, our superannuation had gone, and because I was frantically trying to keep up with all the other things that I was doing as well. So, how many years have you spent working? Just let me know in the comments, how many years have you spent working? That would be one serious question. And, do you feel, after working all those years, do you feel financially secure for retirement? Because it doesn't matter how many years you work, that financial security has to be there for retirement. You've got to survive 25, 30 years in retirement. So, or are you working harder than you've ever worked before and still struggling to get ahead? Because literally that's where I was at, a few years prior to that, when I was working 3 days a week. It just wasn't, it was barely, making ends meet. So we certainly weren't able to save much money. That financial security wasn't a great feeling, because, hi Chai, welcome. So when that happens, what you get is a lot of other emotions come up. And when those emotions come up, then you start, your health starts to deteriorate, even if it's only small little bits at a time. That's all that it is. So last night when I was on my live, I was talking about what you need to retire for 25 years. And if you were to retire at 60 and live until you're 85, it's 25 years. So you're going to need very close to $2 million. Hey, Jacqueline, welcome. Thanks for being here. You're going to need almost $2 million to retire on. That's if you've got nothing else. And that's only $71,500 a year. So if you're living, with in the private rental sector, then, the rents exceed the pension. So you're not going to survive in that environment. So when you double that, you barely have enough. It's about $14,500, I think, left a year for groceries and power and petrol and insurances and, car maintenance and all those things that you need on top of that. And that's not going to cover it. So you literally need to have $2 million to last you 25 years to just have a comfortable life. And did you work 40 years or plus to just be comfortable? Hey, Chloe, welcome. Hi, Payne, welcome. So, we have been conditioned back in the 50s and 60s and 70s to work hard for your money and, to trade your time. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for following me. And, we were taught that if we didn't work hard, we wouldn't succeed. But you know what? You don't have to work hard to be successful and earn money. You just don't. And, so how would you feel knowing that even after all your hard work, that retirement is still out of reach? Because it literally is out of reach for you if you're just working hard just to survive. So unless you're on a good 6-figure income in a job, and you're probably exhausted and overwhelmed because you've got no time with your family. So you miss, if you're doing that and earning over 6 figures a year, then you're probably missing out on something else, some other part of your life, right? You've got to work hard to keep your family, happy, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So, the real struggles, I suppose, of this is, inflation eats away at any possible savings that we have. Your superannuation, you're paying thousands of dollars a year in admin fees here in Australia. So, hi Forex Hub, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hi Pappy, welcome. And so, you shouldn't have to make a choice between working well into your 70s or struggling for the rest of your life. There are options out there. Hi Wilhan, welcome. Thank you for joining me. There are other options out there without trading time for money. And, for that, it's really great. So thanks for the rose. That's, hi Logan, welcome. Sorry, these are coming in fast now and I'm not seeing them all. Hi Natasha, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate that very much. So, what does it look like for your future, in retirement? What does that look like? So Ruth, hello, welcome. Ruth is another one of my friends who is in this business with me, and thank you for the rose. And so, it's we've just got such a great community around that it just makes life so much easier, right? We make friends with people all around the world. We literally have these amazing calls from $1 million mentor who shares every strategy, When she started, she was a single mum of 6. She had no tech skills. She knew nothing about digital marketing. She had a goal of making 54,000 in her first year. And she did that within a few months. And then within 17 months, she actually made her first million. So this just shows that even without all the skills that you think that you need, you know, it's one of those things that you just don't need to have those skills, because what you're doing is you're learning as you go. So you're learning and implementing and earning. And when you do that, you're in profit pretty much straight away. So, because you do make 100% profit on this. So when you make 100% profit, that means that every time you sell one of these products, one of these 4 products, it goes into your pocket. And that is a rarity in any business. You know, multi-level marketing, it's about 25%, maybe 15% to 25%. You know, you can sell this highlighter, you could sell it for $1 and you'd be lucky to get 20 cents in every dollar. You know, but so what does that mean? You're working really hard and you've got to work 5 times harder to make 100% profit. But you're still stocking and restocking, which means your costs are, it is such a great system to follow for sure. So, you know, when you're working 4 or 5 times harder to make the same amount of money, why would you choose that over, you know, something that pays you 100% profit? And we have such a great variety of products. So, you know, first of all, you set your business up online and your 4 income streams are there ready and waiting for you. And the email, no, I don't want to be pregnant, thanks. No, no way. Well, no, I don't. I don't have pregnancy products. No, I don't. But I do have another income stream that has organic vegan supplements that would help depending on what you want. So I'm happy to talk to you about that offline if that's something that you want. You know, certainly. You know, if it's for caring for yourself during pregnancy, I don't know. Don't know what that means. So anyway, that's okay. I think there's a few people here tonight that need to leave my space. So, you know, so what do you get? Well, you get your 4 products. You don't need tech skills. You get to work 2 hours a day on income producing activities. And you've got this passive income coming in because it works for you 24/7 when you are doing the things that you love to do instead. So, you know, that is something that really got my attention about this particular system, because it is proven. We do get the strategies, we do get the training. You know, if you're prepared to commit to 2 hours a day, and hi Casey, welcome, commit to that 2 hours a day and prepared to listen and learn and implement, or in other words, be a little bit coachable about how to make this system work for you, then you know you're there. You're already there. So thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate it. So you know they were the things that really got my attention. So thanks for sharing. Thank you. I appreciate it. So you know, the fact that I just love to see others succeed, the fact that I so you know, the fact that I love to help others, with them, mindfulness, and because, I do coaching, law of attraction coaching. So, I help people to release all those limiting beliefs and unlock their full potential so that they can achieve all the things that they want to achieve. And I think, for that, it's super important. So, I'm just trying to see. I don't know where those messages went. Like, literally don't. Oh, that's okay. Welcome back, Yasna. So, I'm not tech savvy. I don't know. I didn't even know how TikTok worked until, 12 months ago when I started this business. So, I've learnt new things without even realizing that I was learning new things. And, I'm still learning because it's an area that I didn't, I don't think so. I don't think we do that. So, it's, so I think it's, really about, it's a personal opinion. We have a budget for everyone. There's 4 products at 4 different points, and starting point is my $100, and the high ticket one is $900. If you buy the $100 one, you only get to sell the $100, so one income stream. If you sell the $900 one, you have 4 streams of income, a 900, 600, a 300, plus the 100. And if you made one of those sales every day, or just one of those sales in a day, that's $1,900. So, that's pretty phenomenal that you get that opportunity to have those things available to you in that amount of income. So it's entirely up to you. I'd love to be able to help you. You will be fully supported in this business. Even though it's your own business, you are not on your own. And, I think it's easy to think, you'll look at it later, but time is one thing that you can never have back. And the more you put it off, the more you are missing out on possible income or potential income. So what does your life look like in 5 years' time? Seriously, if you take no action and keep doing the same things over and over, what's stopping you from taking action today? So if this is something that you think is of interest to you, pop freedom in the comments, and I'll definitely make sure that I get the information to you. And, I would love to share this with you. It costs nothing to get your blueprint. You put your email address in, and then you get all the information. So that's pretty much where it sits. And then you can make a choice after that. Once you receive all the details, you actually get a choice after that. So it's been great talking. I'm well over my 30-minute mark. So I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. Thank you. I hope you join me again tomorrow. And we'll have another conversation. So have a great morning, day, night, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. See you all tomorrow. Bye for now.